If you have ever felt that sudden, sharp drop in your stomach when you see an official-looking message, something with words like court, police, investigation, urgent payment required, then you already understand the fear this story is built on. Because the most dangerous scams today don't look suspicious. They don't look sloppy. They don't ask politely. They arrive with authority. They arrive with confidence. They arrive sounding final. And once they have your attention, they don't need to convince you that they are real. They only need to convince you that ignoring them is dangerous. This is the story of how I received a court order that looked perfect, and how fear, pressure, and urgency shut down my ability to think clearly. It started on a completely normal day. No drama. No warning signs. No sense that anything was wrong. I was doing ordinary things, switching between tasks, answering emails without much thought. My attention was fragmented, like it usually is. And that's important, because these scams don't strike when you are calm and focused. They strike when your mind is already tired. That's when the email arrived. The subject line was short and brutal. Court order issued. Immediate compliance required. There were no emojis.
No excesive puntuación.
No obvious red flags. Just a sentence that carried weight. I stared at it for a few seconds, hoping it was a mistake meant for someone else. My brain tried to reject it automatically. I hadn't been in trouble. I hadn't received any warnings. There was no reason for a court order. But the message didn't care about reason. I opened it. The email was written in cold, procedural language. It didn't threaten. It didn't explain. It simply informed me that a ruling had been issued in an administrative case involving my name. Attached was a PDF. That's where the fear really began. The document loaded instantly. Clean layout. Official structure. Court name at the top. A seal. A case number. A judge's signature at the bottom. Everything aligned perfectly. My full name was there. My address was correct. Even the formatting felt authentic. The document stated that I had failed to comply with a legal obligation and that enforcement measures would begin if the issue was not resolved within 24 hours. That deadline was like a switch in my head. Before that moment, I was confused. After that moment, I was scared. 24 hours is not enough time to calmly investigate something you don't understand. It's enough time to panic. Enough time to imagine worst-case scenarios. Enough time to make a fast decision you'll later regret. I reread the document slowly, searching for mistakes, typos, inconsistent spacing, anything that would reveal it as fake. But the document didn't look fake. Even the stamp looked imperfect in a believable way, like it had been applied by a real human hand. That detail mattered more than I realized at the time, because perfect perfection looks suspicious. But realistic imperfection builds trust. As I was reading, my phone rang. An unknown number. I hesitated. I didn't want to answer. But fear has a way of pushing you forward, not backward. I told myself that ignoring the call might make things worse. So I answered. The voice on the other end was calm, professional, and controlled. No accent that stood out. No rushed speech. No emotional pressure. That calmness was terrifying. They introduced themselves as an authorized representative connected to the case. They referenced the same case number from the document without hesitation. That detail broke through my remaining skepticism. They spoke in procedural language, not emotional, not personal. They explained that the ruling had already been issued and that the system was now waiting for compliance. I was warned about potential consequences, account restrictions, enforcement actions, additional penalties. The terms were vague, but that vagueness made them more powerful. My mind filled in the blanks with fear. Then came the sentence that locked me in. This is your final opportunity to resolve the matter without escalation. Without escalation. That phrase implied that something much worse was waiting beyond the deadline. Something louder, more visible, more damaging. I asked questions, trying to regain control. What was the original violation? Why hadn't I been notified earlier? How could this be resolved? The answers were technical and confusing. They referenced procedures, systems, and administrative steps that I didn't understand. That confusion worked against me. The less I understood, the more authority they seemed to have. I was told the ruling could not be appealed after the deadline, that the system was automatic, that once enforcement began, no one could stop it. And then they offered a solution, not framed as help, not framed as mercy, framed as procedure. A payment could be made to close the case and prevent escalation. It didn't feel like paying a scam. It felt like paying a fine. And that difference matters. Because when compliance feels like responsibility, fear becomes cooperation. I told myself I would verify everything. I even opened my browser to search for official court contact information. But another thought immediately followed. What if this is real, and calling the wrong number delays everything? What if I miss the deadline while verifying? That's how fear bends logic. You don't stop thinking. You start thinking in the direction fear wants. Soon after, I received a payment link. It looked official. Secure design. Reference number already filled in. My name attached to the case. The amount wasn't absurd. It was just high enough to hurt, but low enough to feel manageable. There was another message on the page. Payment required within 2 hours to prevent escalation. Now the timeline collapsed again. The original 24 hours became 2. That compression is intentional. When time shrinks, your options disappear. I hesitated. My hand hovered over the keyboard. For a moment, clarity almost broke through. Then my phone rang again. The same voice told me the system showed I had accessed the payment page, but not completed the transaction. That sentence sent a chill through me. It made me feel monitored. They said they could temporarily hold the case, just for a short time, but only if payment was completed soon. They sounded reasonable, almost helpful, like someone inside a rigid system trying to protect me. That was the final push. I paid. The confirmation screen appeared. Payment received. Status pending. Relief flooded in. My breathing slowed. The fear paused. For about 30 minutes. Then another message arrived. Additional compliance fee required due to system escalation. My stomach dropped. The new message explained that the initial payment only covered part of the process. Because of delays, the case had progressed further in the system. Without an additional fee, enforcement would continue. Worse, my first payment would now be recorded as partial compliance, not enough to stop anything. That's when the trap became visible. My money wasn't solving the problem. It was being used to keep me inside it. When I questioned the new demand, the tone changed. The voice became colder, less patient, more authoritative. I was warned not to interfere with procedures, not to contact unrelated offices, not to delay the process further. That was the moment something finally snapped. Fear was still there, but now it mixed with anger. I ended the call. This time, I verified everything properly. I found the court's official website. I called a public number listed there. I explained the situation. The person on the other end sounded tired.
Human.
Normal. They checked the case number. Nothing. They checked my name. Nothing. They checked the court itself. There was no record of any case involving me. The court order that had controlled my thoughts for hours didn't exist. After that call, the scam collapsed quickly. The numbers stopped answering. The payment page disappeared. The email stopped. But the fear didn't vanish with them. Because once your nervous system experiences authority-based panic, it doesn't reset instantly. Over the next few days, more messages arrived. This time from a lawyer, offering urgent legal representation. Then another pretending to be from police investigators. Different roles. Same pressure. They were testing whether fear still worked. That's when I fully understood what made this scam different from anything I'd seen before. This wasn't just fraud. It was authority simulation. AI-generated documents with perfect formatting. Legal language written with confidence. Procedural explanations designed to confuse. Calm voices that never sounded nervous. The scam didn't rely on convincing me emotionally. It relied on replacing reality with a believable system. And once you believe you're inside a system, you stop questioning it. That's the real danger. These scams don't target greed. They target responsibility. They target fear of institutions. They arrive when you're tired, distracted, or alone. When you don't have the mental energy to slow down. And the moment you panic, you stop verifying. That's the rule they depend on. Real institutions allow verification. Real courts don't demand secrecy. Real police don't pressure you into immediate payment by email or phone.
15 2.
So, if you ever receive a message that creates panic and urgency, stop.
Pause.
Don't click links. Don't pay to close the issue. Don't trust contact details inside the message. Verify everything independently. Talk to someone calm.
Slow time down.
Because panic is the real weapon. And next time, it might not be an email. It might be a voice. If this story made you uncomfortable, that's because it was designed to. These scams don't look fake anymore. They look official. And with AI, fear can be manufactured faster than logic can respond. Stay alert. Stay skeptical. And remember, urgency is the scam. I'll see you in the next story.